Then I'll be back with a free offer.
What love for animals really means is concern for their health and their long life. It's disease you have to worry about. That's why proper nutrition is so critical. I buy Hill's Science Diet pet foods. They're formulated by veterinarians, experts who know that excesses in sodium and minerals and other nutrients can harm pets. Science diets are properly balanced for each stage of life. Oh, there's nothing I trust more than Science Diet. Nothing.
If you're a concerned pet owner, learn how Science Diet can help your pet. Call 1-800-227-7000 for free samples of canine or feline Science Diet, plus facts on nutrition and why Science Diet products are sold only through veterinarians and pet food retailers. Call now. Sample Science Diet, the pet food concerned pet owners trust.
Hear the latest hits of today's stars. Perform like you've never seen them before on
Putting on the head.
Now, the Twin Cities' fastest growing television news. News 11. With Joan Steffen, Kevin McDowell, Randy Shaver on sports, and meteorologist Dennis Felkin.
The Metrodome was a sight to see as thousands of Twins fans turned out to see their boys of summer play the boys from New York City. A day that will go down in the record books as attendance hits the 2 million mark. Good afternoon, everybody. Kevin has the day off. Topping News 11, a red-letter day for the Minnesota Twins and their fans.
Thousands of fans cheer the Twins on to victory, a game that boosts this year's attendance over the 2 million mark.
Today's milestone has the Twins well on their way to reaching the 3 million attendance mark. Nearly 52,000 people attended today's game, bringing the total to date to just over 2 million. The total attendance for all of last year's championship season was just over 2,800,000. And as News 11's Carolyn Marinan tells us, Twins fans' excitement is just as big as the numbers.
Besides making a lot of noise, today's Twins fans were making a little history in the Dome in the way of numbers.
The Minnesota Twins certainly have come a long way with their fans since their 1961 debut, when their annual attendance was just over 1 million people. Today's crowd will put them over the 2 million mark, and that's 24 days ahead of last year's figures.
Today's attendance, nearly 52,000, wasn't too far off the all-time attendance high, 55,000 plus. That happened during the World Series. The champs still have that magic touch in the Dome, though. Homers like this one off Tim Laudner's bat kept fans hopping out of their seats.
Will it clear the curtain? Yes, it does by plenty, and the Twins have the lead.
I really hate New York, so I want to see the Twins beat them.
Oh, see the Yankees and the Twins. I mean, this is one of the better games of the season.
The big turnouts are keeping these guys busier than ever, and they've been making big bucks selling brats and beer.
This has been the best year that we've had so far in terms of business. The people have been tremendous.
Yes, thanks for taking your hats off to us, New York. We know we're the world champs, and we're not ready to give up that title yet. Carolyn Marinan, News 11 at the Metrodome.
And Twins officials say they won't match that World Series game record. One reason, 500 seats were taken out of the Dome to make way for the new scoreboard.
And Randy Shaver joins us a bit early with a look at the highlights from today's game.
I don't think 500 people will make a difference. That scoreboard is beautiful.
Yeah,
I think that more than makes up for those 500
Probably.
seats out there. Well, I'll tell you what, the Twins more than made up for last night's late inning loss to the Yankees with their 12-2 win today. The only problem is Oakland is beating California in the 6th inning of that game, meaning if they win, no ground will be made up in this chase in the West. The final again today was 12-2. 18 hits by the Twins. Dan Gladden had 3 hits today, the 4th 3-hit game in the last 5 for him. Other hitting stars included Tim Laudner. This home run broke a 2-2 tie in the 4th and gave the Twins a 3-2 lead. A very productive middle inning stretch for the Twins. Gene Larkin with 4 hits, including this homer and 4 RBIs. 3 runs in the 5th inning and 5 runs in the 6th. The Twins win big on national TV. The final again, 12-2 over the Yankees. They're now 8 games out of first in the West, but Oakland is leading California 4-0 in the 6th inning, which means they will remain at 8.5 if that score holds
Still
up.
not getting much help,
They're not getting much help right now, but what we have to remember is in the last 13 games of the season, they play Oakland 6 times. So if they can be within at least 4 or 5 at that stretch, they're still going to have a shot.
Yeah.
Plenty of time left.
Thanks, Randy.
You bet.
With the GOP convention less than 2 days away, many Minnesota delegates are already in New Orleans getting ready for the event. The Minnesota delegation consists of 31 delegates from across the state and 31 alternates. When you count in the spouses and guests, there are about 110 to 150 Minnesotans in New Orleans for the convention. And finishing touches are being made on the convention floor this afternoon. Scores of Secret Service will guard the president and vice president during the event, while the New Orleans police force and 1,500 volunteers will monitor everyone who passes through the doors. The convention officially begins on Monday.
Minnesota counties hard hit by the 1988 drought may be declared agricultural disaster areas as early as next week. Governor Rudy Perpich says he has learned U.S. Agriculture Department officials are waiting for final damage assessments. Those reports are expected to be filed on Monday. Perpich says the disaster declaration probably will be made within 3 days after the Ag Department has received all of the necessary reports. A Robbinsdale man who had been missing since yesterday afternoon was found dead this morning. 67-year-old Rolf Ringdahl was found after he had apparently drowned in Crystal Lake. He was last seen yesterday afternoon taking his dog for a walk, but the dog returned without him. Rolf's body was found by one of the searchers in the southeast corner of the lake. Rolf had a history of Parkinson's disease.
This afternoon, police have a suspect in custody in connection with the stabbing death of a North Minneapolis man. It was at this house on Newton Avenue North that the confrontation took place this morning. Investigators say 2 men were arguing when one allegedly stabbed the other. The victim died a short time later. Charges are pending against the suspect. And a manhunt is on this afternoon for 2 suspects in an armed bank robbery. Police gathered clues after 2 gunmen held up the First Minnesota Bank on Central Avenue in Columbia Heights. The bank closed down shortly after the robbers made off with an undisclosed amount of cash. A witness described the frightening ordeal.
When I was coming in, I parked there, and then I came this way, and they had a car out here. And I walked right by it, and there was 2 guys there. I thought they were coming out of the bank, so I didn't think nothing of it. Then I walked into the bank, and I was just waiting, and they just came in, and everybody down. And I just turned the other way. I was shaking, like everybody was.
Police described the suspects as 2 white males. One was wearing a mask during the robbery, and witnesses say he was heavy-set. The 2 made off with a stolen 1963 2-door Chevy, license plate number BDF 476. If you have any information, please call the Columbia Heights Police Department at 788-9221.
This afternoon, 2 St. Paul police officers are on their way to China as part of a cultural exchange program. Lieutenant Carolyn Bailey and Sergeant Deborah Montgomery boarded their plane at Twin Cities International this morning. The 2 are part of an exchange program on the roles women have in law enforcement today. Currently, about 10% of China's police force are women, compared to just 4% in the United States. Still ahead on News 11 at 5, how your face can be worth 1,000 words when it comes to telling the truth.
And a rainy day in the Twin Cities puts us over the normal rainfall mark for August. We'll be right back.
A lot of people are putting the rubber to the road at their Hyundai dealer because it's the Hyundai Macon Tracks clearance. And we're moving out all the 88 XLs, including the XL 4-doors, starting at just $6,250. They're $1,000 less than any other 4-door sedan. And during Macon Tracks clearance, we're really dealing. But hurry, these cars are going fast. Missed me by a mile. Test drive the durable Hyundai XL at Midway Hyundai and Brooklyn Park Hyundai.
When you really need power, use Pro Stripper. Removes layers and layers of old paint or any other finish. Fast. Easy on wood. Easy on you. Non-flammable Pro Stripper. When you really need power.
Embers. Lunch, dinner, anytime. Tender fish, chicken, and sizzling good meats, each at a great low price. In fact, if you can find it better for less, we want to know about it. Embers. Big taste. Small check.
Now you've got the right shoes for the walking woman.
The new walking shoe.
Now you've got the right
made just for you. Easy Spirit.
It's easy when you got the right shoe. Easy walking. It's easy when you got the right shoe. Easy weight loss. Easy Spirit.
Now you can walk for miles and your feet won't feel a thing. Easy Spirit at Dayton's.
Making an AIDS vaccine will be extremely difficult, according to new research, and that story tops our healthcare segment this afternoon. The study says finding a universal vaccine will be tough because virus-killing blood cells vary from person to person in the way they recognize the AIDS virus. Early attempts to make an AIDS vaccine have failed to prompt blood cells to make antibodies to fight the disease.
Also in healthcare this afternoon, have you ever noticed that someone's face reveals when they're lying? Well, Dr. Dean Adele tells us that there may be no such thing as a poker face.
You may have heard the expression, put on a happy face. It means that laughter, mirth, humor is good for you. But some people deceitfully put on a happy face while lying. So a group of scientists wondered if they could tell the difference between a person with a genuinely happy face and one that was hiding behind it. Here's the ingenious experiment they devised. They showed a group of women a funny movie, and they interviewed them afterwards and asked them to describe the movie. Then they showed them a gruesome movie and told them that when they were going to be interviewed to lie and make believe they just saw a funny movie. Well, they took videotapes of the interviews, then showed the videotapes to experts to see if they could tell the difference between those who were lying and those who were telling the truth. It turned out that they could. The difference was in which facial muscles were used. Genuine laughter uses muscles around the eyes as well as the mouth. Here's a picture of one woman describing the funny movie. When someone was lying, they used only the muscles around the mouth without the eyes. Here's that same person trying to appear amused. So the result of all this? Well, science may have discovered nature's own lie detector. So be careful when you're watching your in-laws' vacation slides. I'm Dr. Dean Adele.
If you have questions for Dr. Dean Adele, you can write to him here at the station. The address is Box 111, Minneapolis 55440.
Birthday greetings go out to a few famous people this afternoon. Actor Pat Harrington is 59, singer Don Ho is 58, and singer Dan Fogelberg is 37. Dan Fogelberg has entertained audiences for years with his own unique musical style. He was in the Twin Cities to perform at Riverfest this summer. Here's a sample.
When you need back-to-school luggage, shop Pedro Luggage of St. Paul. Tremendous discounts are found throughout their factory outlet store. You'll find Pedro's own line of luggage and accessories, popular brand name items too. Choose from a super selection of luggage, totes, backpacks, business cases, and trunks. Get more this fall for less at Pedro's, the largest luggage factory outlet in the Midwest. Shop Pedro of St. Paul, downtown at 10th and Robert, off the 10th Street exit on I-94 or 35E.
Coming up on Prism, we'll go to the Dakota County Fair to meet a farming biz kid.
And we'll tell you how a local computer company is lending a helping hand.
Prism, Sunday morning at 11:30 on TV 11.
Hello, I'm Osborne Lockhart with the Harlem Globetrotters, and this is my son, Ozzie Jr. He's 9 going on 19. With my job, I can't spend as much time with Ozzie as I want to, so when we're together, I don't waste a second. Give the gift of time to your child, for kids' sake.
Everyone's looking forward to seeing top horses and jockeys compete in the $150,000 Canterbury Cup. And there's no question about who's going to take home the cup this year. You will. Get this limited edition ceramic Canterbury Collector's Cup free Sunday, August 14th at Canterbury Downs.
Who is it? Don Johnson.
He's history's hottest, handsomest, hardest-hitting heroic hunk.
You wish.
Hunter. His high-hipped heavenly helper, hindering harm, hounding hoods, harassing hostile heavies, humanity's hope, homicide's heroes.
You look more like a cop than I do.
Hunter, if you looked any more like a cop, they'd give you a TV series where you got to play one.
Hunter, Saturday at 9 on TV 11.
Around 11 country this Saturday, Gas for a Steal, the Call of the Wild, and Beautiful Flowers. In South Minneapolis, a day of celebration was held to mark the 80th anniversary of the Rose Gardens at Lindale Park. People were urged to stop and smell the roses, and experts were on hand to give gardening tips. And in Bloomington, it was the call of the wild as people took part in the state duck and goose calling championships. Prizes were given to the winners in 3 different divisions. And in St. Paul, a sight Minnesotans haven't seen for 40 years, a gallon of gasoline selling for 18 cents. Long lines of people holding gas certificates filled the pumps at the Tracy One-Stop Auto Mart. The once-in-a-lifetime deal was to help promote the movie Tucker, A Man and His Dream, on its opening weekend in the Twin Cities. That'd promote it, I would think.
I would think that would get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
I remember attending an Aquatennial parade when I was very young, and there was a Tucker car at the very last thing.
They look beautiful.
Must have been a long time ago.
It must have, but we won't ask.
I think it was. Good.
You know, it's not often we cheer about rain on a weekend, but I think that was the reaction most people had today. I know
a lot
I
of
did.
it was, yes. How much rain did you get where you are?
Lots. I mean, I didn't measure it, but it dumped on us.
I got nothing.
That's the same thing here.
Suburbs.
A trace here. Well, there you are, a scattered shower if we ever saw one. So let's actually see how much the official measurement was out in the airport. 87 was the high, the low was 74 overnight. 87 we didn't make, 90 degrees. Just a trace out at the airport, although we had, anywhere from a quarter to a half inch of rain in some of the western suburbs. And it's sunny right now. The temperature is 86, the wind from the southwest at 17. The dew point, oh dear, 71 degrees, a stifling dew point. Relative humidity is 61%, and the pressure is steady at 29.70. We talk about having scattered showers here. Boy, did they have scattered showers further to the north. I want to look at our satellite laps first of all. This is from midnight last night, and I want to call your attention to the growth of clouds over in northern Minnesota. As you see those advancing, those clouds, as they stretched across and ballooned over northern Minnesota, dropped from 4 to 6 inches of rain between Leech Lake and on through Hibbing, Nashwauk, and on to Hibbing and 2 harbors. And the cloudiness that skirted across the Twin Cities area gave us those some quarter-inch, half-inch rainfall amounts to the west, while almost nothing to the south. And we can see that it looks like it's clearing out right here now. And it is. The other view of the satellite picture, as we look at the Doppler 11 radar view, shows that there are still some scattered showers around here in the southern part of Minnesota and over into Wisconsin. Just heading east from Lake City, a pretty strong thunderstorm right now, small one. Also up near River Falls, and another little line of thunder showers stretching up from Spooner and on up to Hayward, Wisconsin. And they're scattered here and there as well. And except for a scattering here to the north of the Twin Cities, we're not expecting any more major precipitation for tonight, or tomorrow, for that matter. Now, we will advance on to the next picture, which will confirm that the cloudiness on the eastern part of the country is becoming less. And here down the center section, right down through the upper Mississippi Valley, there are scattered showers. There's a little tropical depression down here off Florida. They're watching that. It's producing a lot of showers. And here's the front, right through here, that produced those little pulses of showers for us. And that front is going to stay just about where it is. So the weather that we're going to have for tomorrow will be just about like the weather that we had today. The front is not going to move very much. 60s north of the front, 80s south of the front, and a tornado watch for some parts of northern and eastern Wisconsin for tonight until 9 o'clock. So by tomorrow, front still here, we're in the same place, dew point still in the stifling lower 70s. Okay, so the forecast details here in the Twin Cities. Patchy clouds, some showers way up north of the city, 65 to 69 overnight. Still very sticky, the southwest winds becoming occasionally northwest. And tomorrow's picture is partly cloudy and humid, 86 to 91, light winds only. That's mighty uncomfortable. And the outlook shows readings in the 90s continuing and a chance of some more showers come Tuesday or Wednesday. The dew point will be the significant one again. It'll just be very, very humid through tomorrow.
See, now, I got so much rain I assumed everyone had, and obviously that wasn't the case.
Just your house, that was it?
Just my house, a little black cloud over my house, I guess.
We should thank you for sitting in. Roy Finden sitting in for Dennis Falcon, who has a couple of days off.
Always fun.
Thank you.
Thanks, Roy. Well, today's off and on weather didn't stop a crowd from enjoying the first day of this year's Renaissance Festival. The 18th annual festival opened today near Shakopee, offering up a chance for sweets and sword play. And if that got to be too much for you, a chance to sleep as well. The festival will run weekends between now and September 25th.
And there's still plenty more to come on News 11 at 5, including more on today's Twins home game.
And we'll tell you who made this hole-in-one during the PGA Championship game next in sports.
Something new is in the air at Pizza Hut. Introducing hand-tossed traditional pizza. And people everywhere are taking off for a pizza that's reaching new heights with an out-of-this-world offer. Get a large Supreme hand-tossed pizza with 6 delicious toppings, only $9.99. So go ahead, take off for Pizza Hut today and land a large Supreme hand-tossed pizza, only $9.99.
Pizza Hut, making it great.
A lot of accident claims never get a fair hearing because many people think you have to be rich to have a lawyer. But it can cost you plenty to settle your own claim, and you don't have to. At Hyatt Legal Services, we took the fear out of legal fees. Before you sign something you don't understand, come in and talk to one of our lawyers. We'll help you fight for what you're entitled to. I'm Joel Hyatt, and you have my word on it. We took the fear out of legal fees across the country and in your neighborhood.
Let me tell you about America's forever forests. They stretch all the way from Alaska's Chugach National Forest to Puerto Rico's Caribbean National Forest. The national forests are one of America's great national treasures. Young trees, properly cared for, renew themselves year after year, generation after generation. And that's why they're called forever forests. We established the Forest Service back in 1905. Now, the amazing thing to me is that there are more forest lands today than there were when I was president. Even more amazing is the forest is serving more people in more ways than I ever dreamed possible. All because of the miracle of the forest. Visit the National Forest. There's one within a day's drive of most Americans, and get